Life is Strange 2 was misunderstood by a lot of people, including me, expecting something closer to the original first season. But, to my surprise, upon revisiting the game, Episode 1 shows you this season is setting up something completely different, an anthology, where each story would be unique with an entirely new cast of characters, and judging by the very conclusive endings of Life is Strange 1, it's clear to see why they chose to go in that direction, despite the audience's expectations. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. When loading up Life is Strange 2 for the first time, seeing the main menu and hearing that relaxed soundtrack the series is known for, you have a feeling of what to expect. The same kind of story as Season 1. Set in a quiet Seattle neighborhood, two characters whose friendship might become a romance, the same awkward dialogue.
Here, let Lila the Love Witch work her magic.
So what should I wear tonight?
A condom.
Hey, lovebirds. Back from the loony bin?
Shut the fuck up, dickhead. Fucking planes, man. I want to hate them, but I'll miss them so much if I move somewhere else. Shit changes so fast. I get so emo sometimes, wondering what will happen to us once we graduate.
A little confrontation, and then everything completely flips.
Dispatch, I need to run a license check on that 10.
Oh, shit. Officer Matthews, I've got a 1010 in progress. 1452 Lewis Avenue. I'm gonna need backup.
Copy that. All backup available. Send backup immediately. 306.
Backup, possible 1080.
We need backup. I repeat, we need backup.
And honestly, looking back on it now, I think that's exactly what the series desperately needed. Now don't get me wrong, Life is Strange 1 was a great game for its time. I played the original when I was in my mid-teens, with very little to no responsibilities at all. I think that's what made the game enjoyable for a lot of the target audience. I originally played Life is Strange 2 during a phase where I was going through a lot of Telltale story games, such as The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, and the original game. The music, the art style, the pacing, it all felt very Life is Strange. You're just a normal teenager named Sean, texting your friend Lila, getting ready for a party, dealing with your younger brother Daniel, and it sets up this expectation of a grounded teen drama, something local, personal, and very character driven. But the turning point in episode 1 isn't gradual, it's sudden, messy, and completely out of your control. 1 minute you're dealing with a neighborhood fight, sticking up for Daniel, and the next, Sean's entire life, as he knew it, is gone. There's no rewind power this time. No second chance to de-escalate or make a different choice. You're forced to deal with the consequences of this event that were completely out of your control. And from that moment on, the game stops being about everyday teenage life and becomes something much heavier. It becomes about survival, responsibility, and dealing with something you're not ready for. A coming-of-age story. And that's what took me out of the game at that time. Maybe because I wasn't mature enough to understand it, or get invested in this massive shift of tone. The original did deal with dark and serious areas of everyday life that do happen, but nothing that completely shifts the player's responsibility for another person. At its core, this isn't a story about powers, it's a story about responsibility. Sean isn't just the innocent main character anymore. He's forced into becoming a parent overnight. He has to look after Daniel, protect him, guide him, and make decisions not just for himself, but for someone else who completely and utterly depends on him. And Daniel isn't just a side character in this story. He's constantly watching you, learning from you, and reacting to you. And that's one of the smartest things this game does that I think a lot of people didn't realize, is how it handles player choice. You're not just shaping the story, you're shaping Daniel. Every decision you make to either stay calm, lose your temper, stealing to survive, or trying to do the right thing feeds into how Daniel understands the world around him. And there's no obvious trust or honor meter you would see on screen. No, Daniel didn't like that kind of pop-up. It's just a vague animation in the corner of your screen to let you know something is changing, but you can feel it in how Daniel reacts, how he speaks to you. That's what makes the choices Sean makes carry real weight in comparison to other games like this, because you can't undo the example you've set for your brother. Another thing that stood out to me when I got back into episode 1 is just how much it relies on the quiet moments. Much like the original with its inner monologues of Max and Daniel taking the time to reflect on the events of the story up to that point. But these moments where you're teaching Daniel something simple, like skipping stones, sitting together, talking about how he feels and thinking about his dad. These scenes might seem insignificant at first, but they're laying the foundation for the relationship you and your brother will have, in a way that feels natural and believable, but also true to life. One of the biggest reasons I think episode 1 is underrated is because a lot of its best storytelling is slow, deliberately slow, and targets a more mature audience, and the little details that add to that new approach is very easy to miss if you aren't paying attention. It doesn't always present its ideas, themes, and commentary on the real world events in big, obvious moments, except in the few cases that it serves the story and has the biggest impact on the main characters themselves, but caring more about impressing a girl at a party or if somebody wants to be around you or not. You realize as you grow up and figure out who you are in the real world, those things don't matter at all. Where games like Before the Storm is all about being seen and accepted by someone that's deemed to be of higher status than everyone else, who you only properly met the night before. Instead, it hides the things that matter in smaller details that reward you for taking the time to look. A perfect example I can think of is at the end of episode 1, the note that's left to you by Brody when he leaves you and Daniel at the motel. After helping Sean and Daniel escape and having a heart-to-heart overlooking Arcadia Bay, the setting of the first season, Brody leaves behind a message explaining why he had to go. Something that I'm sure a lot of players, especially those looking for the next big event to happen, definitely missed. But as I was playing, I was wondering why he had to leave them at all in the first place. And if you read it, you find out that his mother is dying of cancer. It's a small detail, and it's completely optional. You could miss it entirely, but it adds a lot of depth to his character. He's not just a helpless stranger anymore, he's someone dealing with his own personal struggles, his own form of loss, and how it mirrors Sean's and Daniel's situation in a subtle but really meaningful way.
You can't blame yourself for everything that happens in this world. You're gonna be okay, Sean.
How? My life feels like that town down there. Wiped out, destroyed, empty. Like I have nothing.
What is sure is, that's the past. But you can't look back now. You've got each other. And you have to move forward.
Why?
You may not see it, but what you and your brother have is the most important thing. He needs you. And you need him.
And it's not just that moment, the entire episode is filled with small details in the environment that help build the story. Things like Sean's sketchbook, text messages from Lila, or hints about their long-lost mother scattered around the house in episode 2. Those details don't change the plot directly, but they make the world feel more real, more lived in. And importantly, the game doesn't force you to engage with them, it trusts you to notice them on your own. Which is great because the game places you in situations where there isn't a clear right or wrong choice. Stealing might be wrong, but what if Daniel needs food? Telling the truth might be honest, but what if it traumatizes him? These are questions I was asking myself constantly throughout the entire season. So why didn't this resonate with everybody when it first came out? I think a big part of it is down to, well, expectations. People wanted something closer to the first Life is Strange. Something familiar, something comfortable. But this game intentionally moves away from that. It's slower, far more mature in its tone, though sometimes it does stray away. Instead of giving you control over time, it gives you parent-like responsibility. And to be fair, I do see why people can view Daniel as very frustrating to deal with at times, but that's a part of the game's design. You're not meant to control him perfectly, you're meant to struggle with that responsibility. If he was more akin to a Clementine type character from The Walking Dead, you might want to protect him, but the responsibility of shaping him into a hero or a villain based on how you choose to deal with his emotions and mood swings, which is what a lot of children really do go through, especially little brothers, is gone. And I think if you went back into the game with this new kind of perspective, you could see a lot of what the story is going for, and you can get a lot more out of it. Looking back now, I don't think episode 1 failed at all. I think it delivered exactly what it set out to do. It just wasn't what people were expecting, and it's not about having the power to rewind time and solve the teen drama mystery. It's quieter, more uncomfortable, more grounded in reality, and it challenges you to think about the relationships you have with your family and how far you are willing to go to make sure you stay together and keep them safe from a system that, in the game's world, is seen as untrustworthy. It's dangerous and it leaves the brothers vulnerable to attacks, so of course they flee. And it leaves it up to you to make sure that Sean and, well, more importantly, Daniel, helps you get there. So, if you haven't played this season because the first game wasn't for you, or you shrugged it off when it first released, I'd say give it another try. I was the most surprised I've been in quite a while when revisiting a game. And I'm glad I did, and I'm just as glad that you decided to stay and watch until the end of the videos, so if you did, I thank you for that. Subscribe to see more videos like this one, and leave a comment about what you think about the game down below. Was it as good as Season 1? Did it fail to live up to your expectations? Or if you were like me and went back to revisit it, did it change your mind going back when you were a bit older? And that's all from me for today. Until next time, have a good one.